Hello everyone. So it's been a week since I made my last video, and I am feeling a lot better. A lot better. Felt like that video was needed in a sense. It was a great release. It was very cathartic to get all this stuff off my chest, you know. Now, the tendency with me is that I rectify things on a very basic level, and then I just slip back into complacency. I say, oh well, everything's okay now, so I can go back to normal. I think that's the key, not to become complacent. So I'm going to continue making these videos. I'm going to continue striving towards a better way of living. Been reconnecting with my higher self a lot recently. Quite a while ago I made a conscious decision to disconnect from it, which I think was needed at the time because I was using the guidance that I received from my higher self as too much of a crutch, I guess. You know, whenever a problem would arise, I'd just connect to my higher self and ask for guidance, and I ended up doing that too much. So I made the decision to disconnect for a while. Anyway, I decided it was about time to reform the bond, as it were. And I've been receiving a lot of guidance again from my higher self as I'm falling to sleep mainly, but also during dream state as well. You know, and it really does feel like me, you know. When I connect with this energy, it doesn't feel separate, because obviously it's not. And it really does just feel like another aspect of myself. And who knows if it's really my higher self. It could just be my subconscious or my superconscious, or could be all sorts of different things, but either way, it's another part of myself giving guidance to myself. So either way, it's appreciated. So for example, in regards to this higher self guidance thing, I was feeling a lot of pain in regards to Chelsea. I found out recently that she'd gotten with someone else, and I already sensed it because a few days before I found out, I had this horrible pain in my heart chakra, and so that was a bit of a telltale sign that something was up, and she'd probably gotten with someone else. So I actually messaged her and said, like, you know, have you gotten with someone else? And she confirmed that, and yeah, I felt feelings of jealousy, admittedly, which is the natural human reaction. But it didn't feel good to be jealous, you know. I've moved on, so why can't she? So I really made an effort to let go of that jealousy. And jealousy consumes you, you know. It's not something I particularly enjoy dwelling in, although I'm sure others do. So anyway, my higher self offered me guidance one night and just basically taught me how not to hoard love so much and to just share it more openly. That was the basic lesson, although there was obviously a lot more to it, a lot more symbolism and metaphors, and it's just really great what you can tune into. Like I said, regardless of what you're tuning into, it's just so powerful and so useful. There's also my higher self, or whatever. I don't like to use labels really, because I mean, we don't truly 100% know what we're communicating with and what a higher self even really is truly. We like to think we do. And some of us do, probably. And some of us don't. Some of us have muddied the waters and got confused with what's really going on here. But anyway, regardless of any of that, the guidance that I was receiving, let's just put it that way, also led me down the avenue of, look, hey, you're not loving yourself enough. You're not opening yourself up enough to people. You're not letting the love in. It's a one-way thing. You've mastered how to send out love and gratitude and stuff like that, but you've really forgotten how to love yourself. And so it was that guidance that led me down that avenue. And again, it was just really appreciated because I needed to realise that. So through this discourse, I've also decided to restructure my life, generally speaking. I want to be on this PC less. I want to begin meditating more. I actually just came from a meditation out in the sun, rounded it up with a little bit of sun gazing, which was nice. And that really does help, you know. I've gotten into a bit of a rut with the meditation thing. I've been meditating on and off since I was about 7. And I go through these little ruts where I kind of forget how amazing it is. And I was only doing it for like probably 5 minutes a day, skipping some days. It was pretty lax, really. Lax, that's not the word I was looking for. Pretty slack is what I meant to say. Yeah, so I've started doing that a little bit more again. Meditation I just came from was probably more like 20 minutes. I'm just going to start easing myself back in, doing it regularly. But the other thing I want to change in my life is the way I make videos. So yeah, no more editing. Well, I'm sure I'll edit from time to time, but on the whole, I want to avoid editing from now on. I want to just want to talk and post. So yeah. Another thing I've been coming to terms with is the fact that our memory recall is nearly always biased. This is something I've always realised, but it's something that's really beginning to sink in and assimilate, and I'm starting to notice, well, no, mind, I don't know what you're doing here, but you are remembering this erroneously. This is not how it was. I find that our brains have a tendency, or whatever it is, consciousness generally maybe, has a tendency to fabricate and colour memories. It will look back on a memory in an overly favourable light or an overly negative light. For example, recently, I'm getting over this now, but around the time I posted my last video, I was thinking a lot about Chelsea and our past and the times we spent together, and I was remembering them with such joy, in such favour, you know. And now, when I'm kind of calming down and becoming a little bit more objective again, I realised that our time together wasn't that great, really. You know, don't get me wrong, Chelsea's a lovely, lovely girl. And I like to think I'm a nice guy. You'd think those two went together, right? But not necessarily. And the fact that the relationship didn't work out is, you know, it doesn't cast either of us in a bad light. It's not like, oh, she did something wrong or I did something wrong. We just weren't compatible. And so our time together was a little strained sometimes. So anyway, I'm starting to remember the memories, how they actually happened, and saying, oh yeah, it's actually probably for the best that we're not together. So I'm just starting to be a little bit more realistic, and I'm trying to stop this whole thing with editing memories. What else? Yeah, well, another thing that ties in with that is that from my astrology research in the past, I found out that Leos and Virgos aren't compatible, and Chelsea was a Virgo and I'm a Leo. So yeah, that's just kind of once again a little bit more proof to me that there's really some substance behind astrology. Because before I went into the relationship, you know, I knew potentially what it could be like. Don't get me wrong, I didn't go in thinking that that's what was going to happen. I wasn't consciously manifesting that, and I don't think I was subconsciously manifesting that either. But I went in with that awareness that this might not work out, but I tried 100% still to make it a successful relationship. But anyway, I guess some things are just written in stone, because that was never going to work out. But regardless, I still love her, you know, in my own little way. Just like I have love for all of you, but it's just slightly different love, you know. That's the beautiful thing about love, it comes in so many different forms. So yeah. Another interesting thing is, as I began to disconnect myself from Chelsea's energy and our past connection, my eczema disappeared. It just faded on my arms. I got really bad eczema, just all down the left arm and all down the right arm. Yeah, it's gone. So that's interesting as well. I think maybe I was causing some sort of disease in my body through dwelling in past memories too much and beating myself up too much about it. And seemingly, as soon as I let that go, I let the eczema go as well. So that was good. Another thing I've come to realise over the last year and a half since I moved to America is that, again, this is something I've always realised as a concept. I've always understood it on an intellectual level, but I don't know if I've necessarily experienced it directly. And that is just the fleeting nature of existence, you know. How self is home, you know, consciousness is its own home. I've grown to embrace this nomadic lifestyle. I went from England to College of the Redwoods, from College of the Redwoods to an apartment in Arcata. I went from Arcata to hotels to an apartment in Arkansas, from an apartment in Arkansas to a big luxurious house in northwest Arkansas, from there to here, this hotel here. Anyway, my point is that every new place I arrive in, I feel like I'm at home almost instantly. And that's a great feeling. And I've been seeing turtles a lot recently, which seems to tie in with that whole idea of you being your own home, self being its own home. Anyway, I think I might round this up now. I did have more to talk about, but I'm reaching the 15-minute limit, and there's always another time, so I'll continue on with this at a later date. Anyway, I really appreciate all the support and love you've all shown me. It's really meant a lot, and it has helped me out of this rut. But let's not stop here. Let's push forward into a totally new paradigm. I can feel it coming. It's here. It's here. It's not coming. It's here. And it's just how we acknowledge its presence now. So namaste. I love you all. And I'll see you all again soon. Bye.